Welcome, everybody. Good morning. Thanks to Lori's gratitude, we're down to 4 minutes. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. No, that's good. Really expect that. That's good. So we're going to talk today about the universe isn't Amazon Prime. The question I say is the universe has received your order, but why hasn't it been delivered? Right? We put this message out there. We follow all the rules. We do all the principles and we do all this. And then we wait around. It's not there. It's on somebody else's porch. Well, the universe doesn't run on speed, it runs on alignment. Think about that. It doesn't run on speed, it runs on alignment. So, how's your alignment? We're going to talk about that today. First, I should mention about Bethany's song. Wasn't that great? Beautiful. She writes all of the music, she writes all the lyrics out, and then she works with AI and voices and music to get that. Isn't that amazing? It's great stuff. Great stuff. So be sure to check her out, Soul Bella. Anyway, we're going to talk about alignment today. Your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs always attract matching experiences, people, and outcomes in your life. Now, we always think about this in a positive way, right? We're going to do all these positive things, and all the positive stuff's going to come to us, whether it's in experiences, people, outcomes. It's going to come to us in a powerful way. But we want it when we want it. We don't think about the time frame. I'm doing all this stuff. Where's it at? You're going to find that there are challenges you're having without even realizing you're having, and we're going to fix those today. I always say that your outside world is a reflection of your inside world. What it is you're thinking about and what's in the processes from your childhood and ancestry and even before that is all playing out in your life today. So the reflection of what you see is what the outside world is seeing is a reflection of your inside world. And we're going to talk about how to shift that inside world so it's a different reflection to the outside world. So today we're going to talk about three little known mind hacks. It used to be they called these things principles or systems or concepts, but the new buzzword with all the kids today is hacks. I need a hack. I need a hack. So we're going to talk about mind hacks that will improve your order accuracy and your chances of getting an on-time delivery of your life's orders. All right. So we're going to talk about it. I'm going to give a little demonstration about how this works. So what we have here is we have your conscious mind. Now, if you're suffering and you're dripping in quicksand and suddenly sinking, it's not going to do much good. But we give a lot of credence to our conscious mind. Our subconscious mind, however, is a lot more depth. It has a lot more to offer, but we're not aware of a lot of it. It's like speaking a different language in the background. And here we come struggling in thinking, hey, I'm going to have my subconscious and my conscious mind work together to achieve the principles I want. We're going to make them all do exactly what they're supposed to do and work together. So we have our conscious and our subconscious mind up here, and we're going to take all the principles, all the hacks, and everything we know, put them together, and have them all work together to make them all the same. Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be cool to do? Our conscious mind, our subconscious mind, and our efforts are all going together and doing exactly what we need to do. Wouldn't that be great if that worked like that? But it doesn't. You see, our efforts don't really mean anything. Our subconscious mind is still our conscious mind is still there, and our subconscious mind it's still doing what it does. Here, maybe you'll have better luck with your thoughts. Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. We're going to talk about how to get these guys lined up, how to get them lined up so they're all working together. You'll attract what you believe you deserve. Unfortunately, our subconscious minds and our brains are really good allowing us to forget the good stuff and focus on the bad. How many times does that happen to you? You're thinking about something that's coming up and you're just thinking of all the downsides, right? And our minds love that. Our minds love that. Why? I don't know. I always say when it comes to trying to understand this stuff, you don't need to. Like when you put your car in drive, it goes forward. You put it in reverse, it goes backwards. It's an automatic transmission with a lot of moving parts. Do you know about it? No. Who cares? As long as D goes forward and R goes backwards, that's all I need to know. But your subconscious focuses on the bad. And we have to be aware of that at all times. But the good news today is Universal deliver your order once you provide the correct delivery address. So that's what we're going to talk about. So there's 3 elements. These aren't the hacks. These are just elements of good, clear communication of the subconscious. Number 1, have a clarity of your desire. Have a target. The subconscious likes to have focus. It likes to be where it needs to be. So you need focus for that. So have clarity. What is it you desire and get clear on it. Secondly, align your belief system what that is. If your belief is that it may not work, or I may have challenges with it, or it's impossible, guess what? That's exactly what you're going to get. And it won't be on your timeline. And finally, consistent action. You got to tell the universe in a way that not words, but your actions, your thoughts, your processes. There's a lot of talk about our words. We had someone speak here a few weeks ago, the power of our word. I even mentioned it in the last talk I did here about the power of our words. And there are power in our words, but we need beyond that. We need to get beyond that in our thought processes and how we have those negative thoughts, because the negative thoughts will outweigh those words 100 times to one. So mind hack number one, cognitive diffusion. That means creating distance from the difficult thoughts and emotions rather than becoming fused within them. We sometimes feel like we're involved so deep to the situation that we don't recognize it as not being our internal makeup. And the way I explain it best is a radio and the radio stations. You're not the radio, you're the radio stations. Your thoughts are the stations. But when you find your thoughts are leading you to a certain point where you feel I am, and you become that radio, you got challenges. So always remember these things, like, how can I make this just understand that I'm not the problem? It's not me. It's my thought process that's causing the challenge. It's the radio station, not the radio. If the radio station is playing a bad song, you don't kick it to the curb, although I have an occasion, mostly rap. I don't know. But anyway, the goal is to be thinking about the process of these are the stations that are playing. I'm not the radio. So that'll help you think about this. Thoughts equal facts. That's what we think. We think this, therefore, that's the fact. I think this is going to happen. And I got to be aware of this. And you're all caught up into that. And it becomes a fact. And I tell you not to do that. These are the kind of statements we make. Won't work, taking too long. I know this is going to happen. I always fail. He did that before. My ex did this. Now he's going to do that. All these negative, these juggling of these thoughts. Thoughts are not facts. They're thoughts. Again, you're not the radio. You're the stations. So instead of saying it's not working, using cognitive diffusion, you would say, I'm having a thought that's not working. So whatever it is that the challenge is, you step away from that and say, I'm having a thought about what's not working. Now you can observe it, be the observer, not the victim. Much easier. And you'll see it in a different place once you start doing it. So you got to step away from it. Stop believing every negative thought is a prophecy. We sometimes do that. How many people you know that are like walking around in a negative state all the time, right? It's like Lucy and Charlie Brown. They're looking out the window and Lucy says, Charlie Brown, what a wonderful day. The skies are blue, the birds are singing, the grass is green. What do you see, Charlie Brown? He says, I see spots on the glass. Right? So it's all about what you want to see. So here's how you use it. Before accepting any thought, give it conscious time, conscious notice. I'm having a thought that, fill in the blank. Make it the station. Don't be the radio. Second, name the thought. Oh, look, it's that I'm not so good enough thought, or whatever the thought may be. Make it funny. I could tell you a story. A lady I was dating one time, I was going to a party that her sister was having for her daughter's graduation. And she was all paranoid because her ex-husband was going to show up. So my friend said, can you talk to her? Can you talk to her? Because she's not herself. She's afraid, like when he comes in, he's going to make trouble or whatever. Can you talk to him? I'm like, well, I'm glad you invited me to this party for therapy, but yeah, I'll talk to her. So I took her in the room, put her in a light trance, and we talked about how to fix this. Simple, NLP. I said, I want you to imagine him walking through the door, and suddenly when he comes through the threshold of the door, he shrinks down to the size of a mouse. He's little, and his deep beckoning voice is now like Mickey Mouse. It's squeaky, and it's funny. And now, he come in full color. He had a flowery shirt on. No, black and white. He's far away, he's black and white, and he's talking like a Mickey Mouse. You could walk over and step on him if you wanted to. Imagine that. Look at him. See how he looks. She did that, and she started laughing. Brought it back up. She went out in the party. He walked in. She started laughing. She laughed at him. Now, he didn't know he was a mouse in black and white that was talking in a squeaky voice, but you got to make it funny. And when you make it funny and put it outside of that, make it unique and unusual, it doesn't have the energy. It doesn't have the energy. When he walked in that door, that energy that she expected was gone. Try it. And finally, ask yourself, is this from a reliable source, and my brain just make that crap up, right? Is this a reliable source? Now, here's what happens. Sometimes we think it's a reliable source because it's our past. Oh, I know this is a reliable source because it happened to me. Oh, I know it's a reliable source because my dad did that. Oh, I know it's a reliable source because it happened to me before and this is the way it went down. Those aren't reliable sources. Those are circumstances and situations and thought patterns that have nothing to do with the circumstance at hand. You got to make sure that it's real. It's got to make sure that it's real. Okay? Don't rely on sources that aren't accurate. So the basic takeaway for cognitive diffusion is don't allow your inner critic to sign for your packages, right? Don't allow your inner critic to sign for your packages. Get rid of them. You don't need them. All right? Mind hack number 2, hypnagogic imprinting. This is in my book. Hypnagogic imprinting, using the natural transition between wakefulness and sleep to imprint your desired outcomes. When you go to bed at night, when you go to bed at night, your subconscious is working constantly. It's working on whatever was going through your mind as you drifted off to sleep. That's a powerful time to energize your subconscious to achieve the desires you want. Sometimes we go to bed with things like this. It isn't working. I should probably quit. Do I always attract the wrong people? Oh, tomorrow's going to be tough. I don't know how I handled today. I hope tomorrow's better. And you go to bed with all that crap in your mind. Don't do that. In that state, your brain is highly suggestible and it's recording emotions as orders. So when you go to bed with that stuff rolling around in your head, your subconscious is saying, okay, we'll handle that. Okay, we'll handle that. Okay, we'll handle that. Don't do it. In my book, I mentioned the very last image, idea, thought, or concept that's in your mind as you drift off to sleep is repeated in your subconscious all night long. Again, I'll say it again. The last image, idea, thought, or concept that's in your mind as you drift off to sleep is repeated in your subconscious all night long. Why would you want to feed it crap before you go to bed, right? When I had clients coming in for hypnosis, those who were suffering anxiety or sleeplessness or frustrations and sometimes panic attacks, I would ask them, do you watch TV a little bit before you go to bed? Oh, yeah. What do you watch? CSI, Dateline, the news, right? And even though there's, stabbings, killings, muggings, you're watching that stuff before you go into bed. And even though your subconscious doesn't realize you're going to wake up with a knife in your chest or a bullet hole in your head, you're realizing that there's stress here. The subconscious is feeling that stress and it's going to play out all night. So you got to have the thought patterns that you want as you drift off to sleep. I use the example of the bobcat. I had a neighbor, her name was Honey. I know, right? Hi, Honey. Kind of weird, but that was her name. And one day I was getting ready to fall asleep. I was at bed and my phone rang and I was almost asleep and I picked it up and it was her. Hi, Honey. So she said, Joe, I know you got little dogs, and I just wanted you to know that there's a bobcat in the neighborhood, and you got to be aware that, it's there and kind of keep an eye on your dogs. Thanks, honey. So I hung up the phone, and I thought, oh, that's interesting, and I fell asleep. That was it. I mean, just like a little phone call. 3:00 in the morning, I hear a noise, and I wake up from my sleep. I run outside in my Spider-Man onesies. And no, I'm just kidding. It was Batman. So I run out thinking, where's this damn bobcat? Where's the bobcat? And I had a flashlight and I'm looking for the bobcat. But what had happened, there was a fender bender up the street and that's the noise and nobody heard or anything. But it's like, oh, wow. So I went back to bed. I'm thinking, wow, that was kind of weird. But that's exactly what happened. My mind didn't say there's a noise, go see what's happening. It's like the bobcat's in the backyard. Same thing has happened to you, I'm sure. You're getting ready to go on a flight. You got a 6 a.m. flight. You set your alarm for 4:00. You go to bed. You're thinking, did I pack my underwear? Did I pack my toothbrush? Everything, blah, 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 right? Your brain's all over the place. You can't even get to sleep because of it. Then finally you get to sleep and you wake up a few minutes before 4 without any alarm. You're like, whoa, what's up with that? That's how your subconscious works. Whatever the last image, idea, thought, or concept is repeated all night long. So here's how you do it. Use your bedtime wisely. Before sleep, think about what you want instead of what you fear. Don't think about all the challenges you had for the day or what the challenges are going to be when you come back the next day. But instead, what was the good stuff that happened today and what can I do? What is it that I want that's going to show up itself in my life? As you drift off, hold that one image or phrase as a fact, not a wish. I am. Treat it as current. Vividly imagine all the details with all the senses. In my book, I talk about using all the senses. Sense of smell, sense of taste, sense of what you feel, what you see, what you hear. By having all of them singing in the song in unison, you're giving that subconscious a really strong, powerful direction as to what you desire. That's what you do before you drift off to sleep. And always in the present tense, not I'm going to, because the subconscious says, oh, yeah, good luck with that. That's the end of it, right? Because you got plenty of time. You got all of your rest of your life to figure this stuff out. But when it is I am, you're telling the subconscious, I'm this, and you're demanding it. And finally, repeat the first thing on waking before checking your phone and starting your day. Exhibit gratitude. As soon as you get up, repeat what that is. While it's still fresh in your brain, repeat it, move forward with it. People ask, Joe, should I express gratitude for the negative things in my life? Yeah, yeah, you should, because if you don't, they're going to show up again. But if you give gratitude to that negative thing, well, thanks, I'm grateful that this crap happened to me today because now I got a lesson. Now I know what to change. Thank you. Thank you for that crap that showed up in my life today. Sounds weird, but it's actually what you need to shift away from it, as opposed to, why me? Why me? We don't need that. So the takeaway, you can't order confidence and fall asleep watching fear, right? So when you go to sleep at night, have that positive imaging in your brain. Mind hack 3, use some whoop. How many people like some whoop in their life, right? Whoop is good. Whoop is good. Start achieving goals by dealing directly with the negative thinking and internal obstacles that get in the way. Whoop is an acronym. Whoop is an acronym, and it means wish, outcome, obstacle, and plan. It's by Gabriel Odington, which she developed the Whoop method. She's a psychologist. Very simple. This is it. Wish, outcome, obstacle, and plan. Let's talk about negative self-talk. We already mentioned it. It applies to the Whoop as well. I'll start tomorrow when I feel more motivated. I need to stop procrastinating. In time, I'll communicate better. I feel too tired to work out. All this stuff is just mind bubble gum that doesn't do any good for what it is you desire in life. So using the Whoop, it exposes your limiting beliefs, your emotional resistance, your habit loops, and your negative thinking patterns. People don't think of, when they think of habits, they think of like, I need to lose some weight. I need to stop smoking. Those are the kind of habits we think about. Little do we know that thoughts are habits as well. There's a whole section of my book about thoughts being habits. You get into a negative loop with your thought pattern, it becomes habitual. You will find yourself start going back to that, not that subject, but the pattern of negative thinking related to thoughts starts becoming a habit. Got to get out of that. So here's how it works. Wish, the W in Whoop is the wish. Choose a meaningful, realistic goal. I want to stop overthinking. Maybe that's your goal, whatever it may be. I want to stop whatever it is. Then you go to the first O is the outcome. Imagine the best result when you achieve it. So if my goal was to stop overthinking, maybe my outcome is peace of mind, right? Now I know what the wish is and I know what the outcome is. So those are good things, right? But you have what life gives you, and that's obstacles. What inside me most gets in the way? And it's not about external, it's internal, because it's easy to say, well, my ex did this, and in my childhood, this happened. And whether it's life, business, relationships, when you start going into the external reasons, you're going to find that it doesn't do anything because there's no way the universe can fix the past. You got to go internally. What inside of me is causing me to feel that? What is that obstacle within me? And finally, the P, create an if-then plan. You write it out. If, whatever the obstacle is, then I will take this action, right? If this problem is this is the action I'll take. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to fix the problem, but at least you're taking an action that's related to the surface issue that's related to the problem, and you're on your way to a positive direction. The if-then approach. If this obstacle, I will then name a specific action that you need to do to correct it. And by getting your brain caught up in the Whoop process, you'll find you're not thinking about things the same way. It's a completely different pattern. So the takeaway for Whoop, a wish without a plan is just optimism with no delivery address, right? Think about it. Because if you have a wish, like we all have wants and desires, right? But do we really take the time and energy to plug that stuff in to make sense of them and have a clear direction in our mind how we want to get there? And the answer most of the time is no, because we're busy with everything else in life. So Jill always concludes with spiritual practices. We're going to call them spiritual hacks for today. So the universe is listening and it's ready when you are. So you got to stop wishing and start aligning. We talked at the beginning about alignment. The alignment's in the thoughts, not the words. You can write down, I am achieving $1 million status on your mirror and read it every morning while you're brushing your teeth. While next to you on the sink is your past due mortgage payment, right? So even though that's important, it's the thought process behind that. So you can't just read it or write it and expect it to happen. You need to put the thoughts behind it that are positive. So again, like we mentioned, the radio, be the observer, not the victim of your negative thoughts. Be the radio station, not the radio. Program your night mind. When you drift off to sleep, put those positive affirmations in place. What's it look like? What's it feel like? What's it sound like? Go to sleep with that going through your mind. Your subconscious will repeat that all night long. When you wake up the next morning, you repeat it again. You'll find yourself subconsciously making changes without recognizing it. I used to have clients call me and I'm like, whatever their problem was, how you doing? Oh, it's good. I don't know if it was a hypnosis or not, but yeah, I have no problems anymore, right? Yeah, it was the hypnosis, but your conscious mind doesn't figure that stuff out. It just moves forward. It just does it because you've changed the programming. And finally, plan for the moment that gets hard, because it will. There'll be times where you run up against a brick wall, and that's when you're challenged the most. You use the same process. Use the same process. You just keep moving through it. So when you line your thoughts and focus with your actions, everything starts shipping faster. Any questions? Good? All right, we're done. Back to you, Jim.
Wow.